Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to the final press conference for what will be a great night of boxing at the O2 here in London on Saturday night. Now, before we continue, I just want to say on behalf of Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Ivan Michel, and Val, DAZN, and Sky Sports, our heartfelt condolences to the family of one of the great fighters of his era, pound for pound champion in his prime, Pernell Whitaker, who passed away suddenly from an auto accident. Everybody in the boxing community is heartbroken, and we dedicate this event Saturday night to his memory. So ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night at the O2, the place that has become the cathedral for big-time boxing in London. It's going to be a great show from top to bottom. It's broadcast on Sky Sports, and it's going to be seen on all the platforms that DAZN has worldwide. A great night, but the thing that's really compelling, of course, about this fight is the main event. The big boys of boxing, the heavyweights. Right now, the heavyweight division is just, it's like something from the 70s when you had Jerry Quarry, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Mac Foster, Joe Frazier. It's a compelling heavyweight division. And we have two fighters in this main event that want to show the world that they deserve to get that world title fight. So on the line is the vacant interim WBC Heavyweight World Championship. The winner of this fight will go on to be the mandatory for who currently is the champion, and that's Deontay Wilder. He's supposedly going to be fighting a rematch with Fury, so we're going to see what happens early next year. But the winner of this fight will be the mandatory for that heavyweight title belt. So there's a lot riding on this main event Saturday night. So here to tell you more about it, from Matchroom Boxing, here's Mr. Eddie Hearn.
No, they don't clap over here for me, Mark. Only boos. Only boos. Thank you. But thank you very much for your hospitality and custom. That was very nice of you. Michael Buffer, thank you very much. As always, a special night at the O2 wouldn't be a special night without Michael Buffer in attendance. And after a fantastic press conference for the undercard for this card, which quite frankly would be a stacked super show regardless of this main event, we have a brilliant heavyweight matchup for you. As Michael said, for the WBC interim world title, the mandatory position for the world heavyweight title, with Dillian Whyte taking on Oscar Rivas. It's a great fight. Both guys fearless, both guys willing to take on all comers. You've seen Dillian Whyte climb the rankings in multiple governing bodies, sat at #1 with the WBC for those famous 600 days, and I believe the toughest test of his career on Saturday night at the O2. Before we speak to the teams of both fighters, I'm going to pass over to our main partner, our UK exclusive broadcast partner and the head of boxing for Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Thanks, Eddie. We've just been in the fighter meetings with David Allen and David Price, Derek Chisora, some great characters, some terrific fighters on this card, and the heavyweight division is so alive. And I think this matchup, when you told me about it, I think it's the best matchup in the heavyweight division all year. Yes, of course, we've had AJ and Deontay and Tyson Fury, but this fight, I'm just looking at Andy Clark's statistics here. You've got 26 fights apiece, 125 for Dillian, 126 for Oscar Rivas, both with 18 knockouts, 69% knockout ratio, the pair of them. You couldn't be more well-matched on paper. Dillian has the professional experience. He's fought at the slightly higher level as a pro, but Oscar Rivas was a wonderful amateur, and I think that's something that we all underestimated with Andy Ruiz before that night at the Garden. You know, this guy beat Andy Ruiz as an amateur. He beat Kubrat Pulev. He was a terrific fighter, and he has been for many, many years. And this is his opportunity. Yvonne was having breakfast with us the other day, and he said that they win this fight. They're very, very confident. But of course, Dillian sort of rolls the dice each and every time. That's why we love him at Sky, because every time he wants a proper fight. And that's what it is. Yes, he should have had a world title tilt by now, but he just wants big fights. He wants to test himself each and every time, and that's why we cannot wait for this. It's a stacked card. We saw the undercard fighters earlier, but the main event is a great main event, and it's one we're going to be enjoying every minute of every round that it unfolds in front of us. And I hope the packed O2 and everybody at home will really enjoy this one. Whyte and Rivas, I think it will go down as one of the great fights of 2019, not just on paper, but in reality.
Thank you, Adam. We move to Team Rivas. Mark Ramsey. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
So many great fighters now in your camp that you're representing, and of course, Oscar Rivas. Yvonne Michel tells me you've had a great camp for this fight, and as a team, are very confident going into Saturday night.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Matchroom Boxing, Group Yvonne Michel, Sky, and DAZN to give us that great opportunity. You know, boxing, it's a game of opportunity. And when Yvonne Michel called me the first time and telling me that Eddie Hearn's call for Oscar Rivas, I don't even want to know who was the opponent. No disrespect for Team Whyte. We're waiting for that opportunity for a long time, and this is exactly what we want. We did exactly like 2 weeks training camp in Montreal to prepare that training camp. We went 4 weeks in Bogota for an high altitude training camp to make sure that he have the best shape of his life. And now we are here from 21 days in Europe, get ready for the time zone and everything. We have no excuse, no injury, perfect training camp. We're just ready for massive performance Saturday.
Obviously, you've watched Dillian Whyte, been in some great fights at the O2, been in great fights, very strong heavyweight, very tough, very durable, but improved a lot technically as well under his training team. You see this as obviously the toughest fight of Oscar Rivas' career, but also a very tough challenge for your fighter.
Yes, it is, and we never try to tell Rivas there's going to be a Walt Disney fight. Like, it's a tough fight. We have a lot of respect for Whyte. He's a tough guy. Even when almost every fight he get hurt, and he still compose, and he still deal with this, and he's able to win fight. I have a lot of respect, but at the end of the day, like I say, we're waiting for that opportunity for a long time, and this is our moment.
Thank you, Mark. We move to the training team of Dillian Whyte, Mark Tibbs. Mark, another great fight. We've sat in this room before talking about how tough this fight would be. Expect another tough fight ahead on Saturday night.
It's, yeah, really got a mirror image what Mark said. It's an incredible fight. That's a clash of styles. It's gonna definitely it's gonna be a fan friendly. The fans are gonna be happy for sure. But my guy's gonna be strong, responsive, and we're gonna have to beat him to the punch. We ain't overlooked this guy. He's been avoided. We know all about that. He's been avoided. He ain't been avoided for no reason. He comes and brings it, and but we've got every bit of confidence in Dillian Whyte to do the business for sure.
A different challenge for Dillian in this fight. Smaller guy, someone with good movement, great work rate as well. Was a very good amateur as well. The toughest fight of Dillian Whyte's career so far?
Probably, yeah. I agree with you. When you started off the conversation, you said toughest fight to date. I always thought Parker was, but this guy brings a little bit different. Parker was a bit more boxery. This guy's a bit like Dillian himself. But my guy's clever. And you guys ain't seen it yet. That percentage that Dillian talks about, he's going to need it, and it's going to be apparent Saturday night. But he's fit, he's strong than he's ever been. We're injury-free, and he's going to do a wonderful job. The boys in Loughborough University have done a great job. Al Stewart, Simon Evans and Simon Wallace, Ben and Max. So we've all worked together very, very well, and he's going to do the business, I promise you.
Thanks, Mark. To Team Rivas, Yvonne Michel. Yvonne, welcome. It's a pleasure to work with you as always.
Thank you.
We had breakfast yesterday, and you worried me a little bit because you seemed so confident of victory on Saturday night. This is a big opportunity for Oscar Rivas. We talked about the Canadian market and how big this win would be out there as well, and expecting a great fight on Saturday, and you have full confidence in your man.
Absolutely. Like Mark said, we've been looking for that kind of opportunity for a long time. We were talking about his amateur background. We're talking about his experience as a pro. He's undefeated. But, you can teach skill. You cannot teach skill. And he has been very successful in the amateur on the short span of time, beating Cubans, beating Americans, beating European champions because of his skill. He has speed. He is powerful also. So He has also a great team around him. Yesterday, when you asked me who was his trainer, and when they said it's Mark Ramsey, he said, Mark Ramsey trains them all. Yeah, of course, he trains them all. Léodard Alvarez, Arthur Beterbiev, David Lemieux, Oscar Rivas. Mark Ramsey is, with no doubt, the best trainer that ever come from Canada. He has a great team around him also. I want to acknowledge here the presence of a very key person in the adaptation of Oscar in Canada. It is his manager, Stéphane Lipin. Stéphane, if you can just raise your hand. Thank you. So nothing was neglected. Everything that Oscar needed, that his trainer requested for his preparation, he got it. He got so far, his best preparation has been when he fought his last fight against Brian Jennings. But there's nothing to compare his preparation then. And everybody can tell you here, when he fought Jennings, he was injured. He had the surgery right after. And so everything is perfect now. This is the best timing for him. And remember that name, Oscar Kaboom Rivas, because you will hear that name very often here in UK.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Oscar, to you. You look in great shape. You look ready. This is a huge fight for you and a huge moment for your career.
Tu as l'air en super condition physique, tu as l'air bien préparé. C'est pour ce moment qui est très important dans ta carrière. Comment tu te sens?
Bon, je sais c'est quoi le travail que j'ai fait dans mon camp d'entraînement. Je sais que j'ai travaillé très fort parce que je sais c'est quoi l'importance de ce combat. Et on va faire le meilleur travail dans le ring parce qu'on sait c'est quoi l'avenir qui se vient après ce combat. Alors, on va faire un bon travail.
I've worked very hard in the training camp, and I'm looking forward to the fight. And we're going to see what happens in the fight on Saturday.
And what sort of fight do you expect from Dillian Whyte on Saturday night?
Quelle sorte de combat t'attends de Dillian Whyte samedi?
Bon, je sais que lui c'est un boxeur très fort. Je sais que lui a besoin juste d'être très concentré dans ses combats parce qu'on connaît que lui c'est un boxeur très fort.
We know that he's a very strong fighter. We have to stay very concentrated because we're aware of the fact that he's a very strong fighter and a good puncher.
Thank you, Oscar. Dillian, although inexperienced as an amateur, we seem to have been here many times before saying this is the toughest fight of your career. Another tough fight on Saturday night at your hunting ground at the O2. We expect a wonderful fight.
I'm nothing special. The man over there has got everything. He looks good. He's got the amateur experience, undefeated. Like they say, he's got a great team. He's got, 5 people switching in between tables and stuff. So, we'll see what happens Saturday night, innit? Been here before, said many things. Shout, scream, said this, said that. But, it's a good fight. On paper, once again, I'm the underdog. This guy. They said, look at the guy. The guy's in great shape. Let's see what happens Saturday, man. Let's see.
He's all action. He's fresh. He's definitely going to be coming to fight. You expect a high-paced fight on Saturday?
Yeah. I've had good sparring for it. Listen, I've seen. I've been in the game a while now. Obviously, I never had a long amateur career, but I've been to camps as part of many people. I've had many people in camps, so I've seen different style. I've figured out different style. I've learned from the mistakes I've made. I'm constantly learning the job. I'm the kind of fight where, as the fight's going on, I'm figuring the fight out and I'm seeing things. I'm like, okay, but the main thing I bring to the fight is I'm unconventional. I adapt to my situation. I adapt. These guys come. I fought tall guy, awkward guy, pressure fighter. I find a way to defeat them apart from one. I came up short once, and we all know the story behind that. But so let's see.
You've seen heavyweights come undone this year, and potentially people overlook people. You haven't overlooked Oscar Rivas in this fight with Mark. Training's gone great. You know how big the test is on Saturday.
You know me, man. We've been working for a while. I don't overlook no one. I train hard for everyone, and the violence of the sport excites me. So I train for it. I love that. I train for that, and I'm ready for that. And You know, why would I all of a sudden don't overlook him in my career and overlook someone now? You know, like I said, the man is dangerous. You know, look at him. You know, he's got it all. You know, like his team says, he's got a great team. He trained in Colombia. He trained here. He trained there. He done this. He came over. He adapted to the time zone and all this other stuff. Hundreds of amateur fights and all this other stuff. But that means nothing. This is going to be a fight. And it's one thing I know to do is to fight. I've been fighting for forever. Anyone that know me will tell you, that's what I do. I fight, you know. I don't do a lot of other things well, but I know how to fight.
Thank you, Dillian. We look forward to a thrilling fight for the WBC Interim World Championship on Saturday night at the O2. Dillian Whyte against Oscar Rivas. Both guys going to pose now for a head-to-head up on the stage, and everybody available for one-on-ones with the media after. Thank you for attending both press conferences today. We look forward to a big night on